kids, comics. Silverhaired Bronze Age Babe here, yakking about her comic book collection, and today I want to talk about probably my favorite comic book of all time. Cats in Texas asked if I have any books wherein Batman spends most of his time underwater. And indeed I do. So, Cats, your wish is my command. This is Brave and Bold number 82. It came out in 1969, I think. Yep. And the cover art and the interior art is by Neal Adams. So you know I be loving it. When I got this book originally, it was coverless, and I had it as a little kid. And I've talked before about how I had to go get another copy of this so I could see the cover, and boy, am I glad I did. So I have a coverless version of this, I have a reader copy, and I have a higher grade version elsewhere in the collection. But let me walk through kind of the basics of the story, although what I really love the most about this is the Neal Adams art. You start on an abandoned street. Batman is following a woman who is being followed by a man, and the man is shot by a frogman. Batman jumps to the aid, and it's just Neal Adams' wonderful artwork, action and movement. And if there is one page that turned me into a comic book fan, it is this entire page. It absolutely grabbed me when I was a kid, like a crab's bite, and he turns around and he sees, oh, it's you, and arg, and down he goes. Now here comes the water part. Again, just expertly drawn by Adams, where he falls into the water. And as he's passing out. Now, it says here he's actually saying that out loud, but boy, thought bubbles maybe, but not speech. I don't know. Anyway, Aquaman has his little friends lift him up. And then the next thing you know, he's in the hospital or in a medical bay, and you see it through his eyes through the cowl. That just is so sly. So there's the doctor, and there's my favorite co-star in this book is actually Commissioner Gordon. So in any event, therein the mystery starts. But in the meantime, Bruce has a date. And I remember as a kid just being really entranced by his shoulder injury. And I think as the story goes on, that injury plays a part in his ability or non-ability to carry on. Now here he's ditching a girl named Honor for a date. I don't remember if Honor is a recurring character or not, but he's having a date with the most beautiful woman in the world, and there she is. Her name is Elsa. And he's just behaving like a weirdo. Oh, the name's poetry itself. She walks in beauty like the night. And it turns out that she just basically wants a check because she's there as the business agent for the Marius Trust or the Marius Development Company. And so Bruce writes a check and thinks he's going to get a little more for his money, which, ugh. But I gotta hand it to her because she basically knocks the crap out of him. Playboy my buns, and basically sends him over the edge. And again, this image that it's kind of a typical Neal Adams depiction where the soles of somebody's feet are coming right at you. But boy, as an introduction to comic books, it sure set me on a path that I have yet to leave. Now, obviously, he didn't die. He hung on, and the mystery continues. And then we meet the villain. It's what is this guy, Marius? He's basically the bad guy. Is developing this waterfront property and collecting a lot of money from a lot of rich people. But he's basically going to steal all the money and steal all of the things he can from this property and carry on his evil ways. And it turns out that this guy is actually Aquaman's brother, Orm. the nice lady had painted a portrait of him, and he didn't like it. So again, action, the Neil Adams depiction of that guy's anger and all that kind of stuff. And Batman shows up, and in the guise of Bruce Wayne, and so does Aquaman. And Aquaman proceeds to beat the crap out of him again and carry him off. And it turns out that Aquaman gives us a nice recap of who Orm is and why they are brothers and why he has turned to evil. Again, I just remember being so entranced by that as a kid. Suffice to say that, just look at that stuff. I don't know why. Did Neil Adams do any other art for Aquaman? Because he sure should have. Then one of my favorite pages in comic books ever is this one, where they're trying to. He realizes that Aquaman's been kind of brainwashed, and so they need to dry clean his brain. So they basically drug him, and convince him that this woman is his wife Mira, and that guy is a doctor that Aquaman thinks he killed, but he didn't. And he is returned to his normal self, and Batman and Aquaman team up. And finally we get to what Cats in Texas wanted to see, was Batman doing his thing underwater. Obviously, good grief, a huge aquarium. One of my, again, I keep saying it, but this whole book is, there's a reason it's my favorite book, because it has a lot of my favorite pages ever. Again, you can see how Batman is really equipped to be underwater. He's got his little breathing device, and then at some point he decides, oh yes, I have this ink dispensary, so I'll cloud up the water so the things can't see me, because that's how Batman rolls. This image has always stuck with me forever and ever, and that's Commissioner Gordon coming upon the scene and telling his men to break the tank. Fire, good heavens, fire. And out they all splat. And Orm ends up getting away. And Aquaman is like, hey, thanks for your help. This has been great. See you around, the Justice League, I guess. And the woman that threw Bruce Wayne over the over the patio has been arrested. And Batman says, well, you were under Marius's spell, and a jury sometimes goes easy with a woman led astray by love. And this gal, I wish there were more depictions of her, because she says, I don't want your Playboy pal's help, meaning Bruce Wayne. I loved him and he used me, but in his arms I was alive. I dared everything. Nothing compares. I'm ready to pay for my foolishness. I don't know. There's something kind of clever about that. So there you have it. There is Batman Underwater. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you next time.